Hello. How's it going out there tonight?
Well, you stumped me now.
Check out our website, mannimalresearch.com. Thanks to everybody. Hello. How's it going out there tonight? I want to welcome everybody to another episode of Mannimal Research, and I'm sure most of you are figuring out now that Wall's lost a little bit of weight over there and had a little bit of work done over there. Walls wasn't able to make it tonight, guys. So my buddy Pat, just a little bit. My buddy Pat is going to fill in for him tonight. I'm sure a lot of you also watch the show that Daniel puts on with the ECBRO, and Pat and I, we do that show with him on Friday nights. And Pat, I appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, man. Great to be here with you tonight, Wayno. Yeah, it's just good to be here and talk some Squatch, man.
Yes, sir. Gonna be a good time. Normally I would let Pat tell a little bit about himself and what he does, but Pat, as it works out, is also going to be our guest next week. So we will save all that and we'll let him do it next week if that's all right with you, buddy.
Yeah. I'm just not gonna talk at all.
Now we want you to talk, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, like always, I want to ask everyone, if you haven't done so, hit that subscribe button for us. We would appreciate it. Sure would appreciate it. Any support that you guys could give us. So yeah, if you haven't done so, do that. Also, we're done tonight. Head over to mannimalresearch.com. Check out our website. Get information on just get information on our group, things that we've done in the past. You can submit your encounter. Tell us, what's happened with you out in the field. And also you can get information about maybe joining Mannimal and getting out and doing some investigations, and getting out with us, doing some investigations. And maybe if you live in another state, start doing them out there under the Mannimal name. We can talk to you about that as well. But guys, check out mannimalresearch.com if you don't mind. And also, everybody's on Facebook nowadays. So if you're on Facebook, you can hit us up. Find us at Mannimal Research on Facebook. Go over and check that out if you don't mind.
Definitely. Good time.
All right, Pat. Tonight we have Mike from Long Island Bigfoot. You know anything about what goes on over there? Have you checked him out yet?
I don't know a lot about Mike. I've seen some of his stuff around. I guess from his YouTube channel, I would imagine. Yeah. And so I've seen some things shared around, and it's interesting stuff.
Yeah, he's put a lot of videos out, man. He's getting some pretty cool stuff out there.
Right, yeah, it's cranking it out, and so yeah, I don't know a lot about him. I just met him right before we went on air, so that's pretty much where I'm at.
All right, man. Well, if you're ready, we'll quit talking about him and we'll let him come on and share a little bit about what he's got going on.
Definitely.
Mike, how's it going, buddy?
What's up, brother? How's it going, guys?
Hey, Mike. What's up, man?
Doing well. Glad you could join us, buddy. I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no, thank you. We're always talking, so we might as well.
Yeah, we've been talking quite a bit. I know that you watch just about all of our episodes, and you participate, ask questions, and stuff like that. And that means a lot to us. We appreciate it. So, guys, return the favor. Ask him questions. If there's anything you want to know, out there. Any comments or anything, feel free. And again, if you do ask questions, we ask that you do it in all caps, so that way we can recognize it and get to you. But yeah, all that being said, Mike, let me put this back up. This is your YouTube channel. How long have you been doing this, buddy?
The channel's coming around on a year, like and beginning of next month, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think around this time, maybe November-ish or something, I started the channel.
And this is something Pat and I were talking about before the show tonight. You know, your name obviously is Long Island Bigfoot. Is that the only place? Is Long Island the only place you're doing research? Because it doesn't, you know, when you hear Long Island, you don't picture, you know, woods and Sasquatch and stuff like that. So, I mean, do you have any other areas that you're active in?
No, that's it. I'm pretty much out of Suffolk County. I haven't done any Nassau County yet, but I mean, I have experiences from other parts of the world, but this is the only part that's on Suffolk County. Long Island's the only part on the channel itself.
Okay. Well, what got you into the topic of Bigfoot? And I mean, I don't know if you had an encounter that got you interested, but if so, what was your level of knowledge and had, you know, just how much did you know about the subject? And you know, from there, I'll just hand you the floor, buddy. Just take it from there and let us know how you got into this.
Sure. It's kind of I guess my level was just like everybody else. It's just you know, until you really see it for yourself, it's really just like, do you believe or don't you? So as a kid, I was always interested in the cryptid Nessie. Always interested. And then you know, I found Bigfoot kind of by way of that, I guess. So I mean, throughout my life, like some things always seemed off or whatever. But when I was in the Army, when I got back from Afghanistan, I had seen something coming into Fort Benning in Georgia, and it was on old force, but it was huge. And the guy who was with me was from Queens, New York, and he saw it too, but he was like, just kind of like making fun of it, kind of like, oh, like, because we were always like kind of scared of the brush because we weren't from like big wooded areas. Like we weren't from like, you know, like where we lived had so much woodlands that's, you know, everything that went bump in the night, we were like, what was that? But the MPs and everything at the front gate kind of talked us out of it and told us it was a huge boar. But looking back now, I know that was probably my first sighting. So after I got back from you know, from the Army and everything, and I had a lot of issues, and I was living near like the VA hospital and or near it or whatever, and there was a site, you know, near there that now is my main site, and I go there all the time. And you know, we refer to it as Bubba's house because that's what the Bigfoot's name was. Because the first time I saw him in flesh and blood, he scared me so bad that I dropped down. I was actually live, and I dropped down. I was shaking and crying, and my body was reacting. I was just screaming, no, no, no. You know what I mean? Like I was just shaking frantically, and like I started to like kind of run away, but then I kind of regrouped a little bit and walked out kind of slower. I can't really recall everything that happened after that, but you know, people always tell me, oh, you're so calm. Like I've kind of been through it around the block a few times, and I kind of just put on a game face for the most part and try to recover what I can out of a sighting. But prior to that, prior to getting started fully, I was walking those woods for about 5 years, and you know, just kind of, I was always into Bigfoot, but I wasn't necessarily sure if they were there. So I was just kind of talking to them, just kind of talking and saying, like, you know, just almost like pretending. Like I always say, like pretending almost like a kid would, you know, and you like pretend like you have an imaginary friend or something. I was almost pretending like I was, you know, like they were there. I really didn't have knowledge one way or another. So when you ask what my knowledge was, it was pretty much nil. I just kind of had a hope. And then one day, it just kind of started clicking. I started seeing people talking about roadside structures and stuff, and I started bumping into other, you know, channels and stuff, and it just started clicking. And like I was like, something you know, some of this stuff kind of looks familiar. So I started putting it more into effect, and I started filming a little bit, and I started putting it out to a few people, and they were like, "Bro, are you kidding me with this shit? Like, that's this, that's this, that's this."
Mm.
And in the beginning, I mean, I was really literally just a guy kicking around rocks and pushing sticks. Like, I didn't know much. I didn't know much about anything. So, oh, Pappy, good to know, bro. Good to know. Thank you for your service too, bro.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I didn't. So my knowledge was really nothing. I just hoped. You know, I had a hope that it was. I wouldn't even say I was a believer. I'd say I was a hoper. You know, I was one that was hoping.
Okay. Now, did you had a sighting down there that shook you that bad? Is that what you were saying?
Which one? The one I was just talking about?
Yeah, yeah. You said that you.
Yeah, I had been filming it and walking around taking pictures at that point a little bit, but I wasn't 100%. You know, people were talking to me about, oh, there's one and it's cloaked and there's this and there's that, and I wasn't really sure. I'm like, oh, I'm seeing it, and like, but people were like, there. But if I didn't see it with my eyes, I wasn't really, you know, fully letting it connect. And then the one day I actually did my first live stream ever, and it happened, and I looked up and he was, you know, from you know, I don't know, 5 feet away, and he's a regular to me now, but at the time he scared the living shit. He scared me, like, beyond anything. And just, I don't want to act like they're bad or there was anything evil in that moment. It was just me reacting to sheer size, to just to sheer, like, just the fact of something I never seen before, couldn't comprehend existed before that, really, like, to the extent that it was after I leveled up next to it. Like, when you look at something that's double your size, you ever go to a basketball game or something and you see the guys, like, you get good seats or something, you see the guys and you're like, wow. Like, it was like that, but to a way more serious extent, you know, so.
Okay, and this was when you were in the service, right?
No, this is after the fact. This is going back about a year ago. So, I mean, this is going back about a year now.
So this happened in where you're living now.
Yes, yeah, this was on Long Island. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Well, you sent me some pictures, and let's look at a couple of these if you don't mind. I'll put some of these up here. The one that really intrigued me, you know, right from the start was this. Tell me what's going on there. I mean, we know what it looks like.
Oh yeah, that was that a lot of people like that one. That was actually one of the sites I've been going to a lot now. As you walk in, there's this big open field, huge open field, and then there's like some short bushes along the way that have openings underneath. The deer go in there. A lot of, you know, these dog men go into there too, whatever. So behind that is all the woods, and it's huge, tall trees, and that's kind of where my eyes always go. And I'm always scanning the tree line. So off to my right was sitting in tall, you know, straw. If you could see the yellow, that's about like 3-4 foot straw, and this was sitting just up above it. And there are bushes. There's bushes that all look like him. And all of a sudden, one of the bushes did that, and he looked at me.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's a screenshot from a video.
Oh, okay. How long did that sighting last?
I mean, the site itself, it could have been longer, but I never really like stay with them too long. I don't know. I don't like to I don't want to say harass them, but I don't like to like stare at them and stuff. I don't know. I used to think it was because like of something called getting zapped and you're not supposed to make eye contact and that, but like I kind of let that go as I kind of came into my own style. So now I like, if they let me see them or they show me something, I kind of get it, and get a good look at it, get a good feel for it, and then kind of move on. Like I don't like to like push the issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
just kind of give like a thank you, and then maybe next time I'll see you again type thing.
yeah. I get that. That's that sounds respectful.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it, I suppose.
Looks like we got a whole lot of leaners right there.
Yeah, it's a big old teepee structure.
Man, that is huge.
It's really big. Yeah, I've been back there recently again to show it again. And it's pretty much the same. It's got a few additions, but yeah, it's really big. That tree, the tree that I'm sitting in, my feet couldn't even touch the ground on that slope, on that.
Mm-hmm.
My feet couldn't even touch the ground.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's see, this looks like another TP type structure. Or is that?
Yeah.
Would that be considered a ground nest, maybe?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I mean, at the time I called it a teepee, but I think it could be a ground nest. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, now this one right here, I wasn't sure at all what to make of this. What we got going on right there?
That's right here, actually. It's like it was a gift. It's a staff.
Okay, is that some kind of skull?
Yeah, that's what I thought at first, right? So it's a staff. It's the size of me sitting down, pretty much. So that's what I thought at first too. I thought it was a skull. And looking back, I mean, that's what I thought it was. I was so weirded out. I thought it was a skull. Looking through everything, it looks like it's a pelvic bone to either a coyote or a wolf or something. So on initial look at it, like I was like, oh, that's like I was afraid to touch it. But I was actually live again, and everyone was like yelling at me to pick it up. No, that's a gift. That's a gift. Take it. I actually figured out how to upload the Facebook Live to YouTube finally, so I'm in the middle of doing a lot of that. So the team's kind of getting a lot of stuff together for me, and I'm shipping it over. So I'll actually put that one up when we're done.
What were you saying, Pat?
That's definitely a pelvic bone of some kind of canine or deer.
Well, yeah. At first, I saw it looked like eyes. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, it was just I thought it was looking at me type thing. But yeah,
that's how I took it.
Yeah, me too. Right away. A lot of us did. But something like that, you gotta look into it right away.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, how often are you out, Mike? Would you say any given week? How many times do you get out in the field?
It's probably 7. Usually 7 days a week.
days a week. Wow, you're hitting it hard.
Yeah, if sometimes we'll have a family weekend or something. I won't go out, but most of the times it's 6-7 days.
Yeah, Trevor McKenzie wants to know. Excuse me. How many squatches do you think is in your research area?
It's a tough one because I don't really have a research area per se. Like I'll go anywhere. Nothing's really off limits. But like as far like I'll talk about like my main site, I suppose. Like I'd say there's a family of like. Now I'm thinking that they're a family of 3. I'm thinking they're a family of 3 now.
Okay, so you don't think could be any way that there's more than 3, or you think those are the 3 that you're?
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's a lot more. There's a lot more around there. I'm just, that's what it is. So a lot of areas are connected to other areas. You know what I mean? They're not. It's so hard to put in the box. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, Long Island technically is one area. You know what I mean? We only separated it by roads and sections and buildings and this. So it gets kind of tricky to say what's what.
It does. Yeah, that's the $1 million question. I think is you know, and I've been to Long Island, by the way. I live in,
cool.
I live in Georgia. I've been to Long Island. I've seen the Amityville Horror House.
That's a popular one.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been there. And so I guess the $1 million question is, Mike, like, they would have to be trapped. I mean, they're trapped, obviously. They're surrounded by ocean. So that's, problematic. And of course you have New York City, all of Long Island, which is probably 1 million population. New York City, which is probably 8 million population. There's no avenue in or out for them. So they can only exist in those little patches of woods in Long Island. So I don't know, like, what's your answer for that? Because it seems very odd. Seems quite odd.
It's really what I get all the time. I get it more often than not. And if, I was planning, before I started figuring this out, I was planning a trip to the Pac West. You know what I mean? So I totally get it. But, I've learned from Northeast researchers that they're excellent swimmers. Are they trapped here? I don't know. I mean, I've heard even from Old Bear says they're great swimmers. But if they're trapped here, I don't know. I mean, then we're talking flesh and blood only, that they have no way in and out. You're not talking about spiritual entities. You're just saying that they're just regular, animals. Yeah. So they're stuck here. And, so whether they're stuck here or not, I don't know. But yeah,
to swim across the Long Island Sound, though, man. I mean, you're talking about the Atlantic Ocean, and there's.
I'm not saying that's the answer. I'm just saying, I'm not saying it's the answer, but I've given it thought, is all I'm saying. And I don't know. This is a pretty self-sufficient place anyway, so.
Yeah, but it's, again, I mean, that's, I asked the question because it is the obvious, question. Yeah. Is that Long Island is a heavily populated place itself. And I do know that there are patches of some wilderness there. But still, it's very populated. And so there's no way out by land. You literally have to cross the Brooklyn Bridge, and, last time I checked, Bigfoot don't do that. So yeah, it's just kind of it's an interesting phenomenon. Whatever is going on with what you're encountering out there sort of makes it more interesting. One could make the case, and I'm not going to make it, but one could almost make the case that if they are being seen out there and that's happening, there must be a lot more to the story, because that's not just some undiscovered hominid. There's something going on there that we don't understand.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've been having fisher cats swim over from, bobcats swim over from Norwalk, Connecticut to Orient Point. So, I mean, that's a cat that doesn't even like water, and they're swimming across for food. So, I mean, I'm not saying that's the case, but there's always a possibility. And if they are stuck here or not, I don't know, but there's definitely more than small patches. That's what I thought at first too. And then the more I researched, the place I was at yesterday was 647 acres or something like, you know what I mean? And I only covered 3, and it was ridiculous action.
I hear you. But I mean, look, I mean, I live in North Georgia, dude, where I can, there's 20 square miles of remote areas. Yeah. So 647 acres is actually very small to me, just in my mind, this is where I live.
I hear you.
I think Pat brought up a great point. There could be, as much as people talk about conspiracy and stuff in the Bigfoot world, it does make you wonder, an area like Long Island, how they got there, like Pat was questioning, and pretty much they have to be trapped. And does that lead to a conspiracy, or were they placed? Is that what you were kind of saying, Pat? I mean,
I wasn't even speculating. I wasn't speculating past, there's something else going, that's an interesting phenomenon for them to be in such a small populated trapped, what I consider trapped area.
If you look back, like there's a website now you could go to, and it's like you go on and you basically you hit the GPS for wherever you want, and then you click on different periods in time, all the way back to like millions and millions and millions of years ago, and it shows you how the land masses were prior. So like back to like the Cretaceous, like Long Island and this were connected, and everything was connected at one point. So I mean, I don't have all the answers. I just I do what I can. I know they're here. I know Mike, they're here. And
nobody has all the answers, man.
No, for sure. Like, everyone gets on my case that I don't do enough scientific shit. But excuse me, sorry. But I mean, I enjoy it. I really enjoy what I do. And I don't know. That's really what it boils down for. That's what it boils down to for me. But.
Yeah, no, I get that, Mike, and I'm certainly not trying to put you in a position to give all the answers, because trust me, I'm the first guy to say no one has all the answers. And if they claim to, they're full of crap, Yeah, for sure. Trust me. Yeah. I hear you. Yeah, up to a year ago I was in the same shoes as you guys, and I'm still wondering here and there, but fact is, when you see them here, and then like I'm excited about that enough, so like right. I'm really excited. I don't have to go anywhere. Like I always thought I had to go.
Mike, all it boils down to, buddy, is you're seeing them there. You're seeing activity. You've actually seen them, so they are there. Yeah. And we don't know how they got there. We don't know if they're trapped and stuff like that. But what we do know is, from what we're seeing from you, is that they're there. And that like Pat said, $1 million question: how are they there?
Yeah, and I've thought it myself. I've thought the same thing myself.
You're Mike. Like, I'll say this, Mike. You're in a very unique position, and not to put any pressure on you, but you're in a very unique position to get that like great footage. If you got it, like that, it was 10 times better than the PG film. It would really it would start proving and like disproving a lot of things.
Yeah.
So
that's one of the
you're in a unique position to be that guy out there, and if something were to happen, you were to get amazing footage or a body or whatever, right? Like, there would be even more questions than we have now, just because of the location. Again, that's a factor. That. I mean, you call yourself Long Island Bigfoot, So yeah, I mean, you're in a very unique position, I think.
Yeah, it's one of the main things I like to show, without giving away location, is, hey, everything we just did here, look how close we are to civilization. Look how there's a house. Like, I'll briefly show it just to show how close we are to people's
dude, Long Island, it's populated.
Yeah, like the Central Pine Barrens are huge, and they travel across, and there's a lot, there's a long period of time before they touch anybody, but at the same time, people insert themselves right along the edges of that.
Yeah.
As much places as people can insert here, they insert here. Oh, sorry. Janice said.
Yeah, Miss Janice Carter says they are very resourceful and they can swim like fish. They certainly would not be trapped on Long Island. They will stay in old abandoned buildings, small patches of woods.
Yeah, that's definitely something. I found them in greenhouses, like an old farm. I found them in an old farm that's in the middle of a suburbia, but it's like they left and abandoned this side of the farm. And there's 3 greenhouses, and then the other side is like the active side, and it's literally like right next to the power lines, and they're always there. They're always there. I can't get in there good. Like, the one time I got in there, they built it up with like thorns. Like, it was like a thorn fest to get back in next time.
Right.
Mercedes Jimenez here. Have they ever followed you home? And I think I can answer that with a video that I saw on your page. Let me go over here and pull it up, and we'll see if we can't play it real quick.
Okay.
Tell us what's going on there, Mike.
Well, you can probably hear Sarah and the kids in the backyard, and this is my front steps where I was just standing. And we were having a family weekend or so, or a couple days, and I couldn't get out. And they brought a small nest to my doorstep, and it was very nicely woven, and it had like every different type of anything you can imagine in it, and a pine cone, all sorts of stuff. It was even open in the front, and it was just a small nest. Like they were basically teaching me, I guess, but they also were showing me like I think they were saying more, like something about like being home nesting is okay or something. Like I don't know. I read into it a little, maybe too much, but I like to.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all do that. It's purely speculation. We don't know what they're thinking.
Yeah.
I know I'm guilty of that, but I mean, that's cool. You wake up and that's on your front porch, and you.
Yeah.
I mean, you just said that it was during a time where you weren't able to get out, so maybe they were bringing the woods to you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was really cool. They absolutely follow me home. They're welcome here. I know a lot of people talk about they're not allowed here. This is the way to get rid of them, and da 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 da. As far as Bigfoot's concerned, they're always welcome here. I go to them. They're allowed here. Like sometimes, I'll go outside and be like, nah. When the kids are here and stuff, they used to slap the house and do things and whatever. Like, I don't know. Like one time they slapped like this window and the one across the house at the same exact time, which is something I still remember because it was just cool. It was amazing. But like, when the kids are here and stuff, like, when everyone's home, like, I'm just like, look, like, I don't know who I'm talking to because I can't always, at night, you can't see anything out there. But I'm like, guys, wait till I'm alone for this, But they're always welcome here. I don't mind.
Interesting. So another $1 million question, if I may, Mike. What do you think they are?
Well, that's a good one because every time I come down to like some kind of a conclusion, it brings me to like 100 different more questions, So
right. And that happens to a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen too much to put them in a flesh and blood box. I've seen too much around them.
Mm-hmm.
I can't just put them in a box and say that they're just like a woodland ape. I just can't. Now there's so much going on out there that I just have to look into it more. That's all, before I can. I don't know if I'll ever come to a full conclusion. I don't.
Well, yeah. I mean, how would you? I mean, communication somehow. I mean, it's hard to say how the ball gets moved down the field, right? If all they do is just kind of show up and do their thing and go away,
Yeah, things seem to be really smooth until like other cryptids decided to show up, and that kind of just has thrown my game off a little bit. So
now, are you seeing other cryptids out there?
Yeah. I wish it wasn't the case, but it's the dogmen mostly. I don't know, the others, as they call the reptilians, they show up like in pictures more than anything. I don't really see them, so like I don't really see them in person, but they show up in pictures a lot. But
reptilians, you said?
Yeah, they're called the others often, but they're I don't see them in person much. But but the dogmen have made a serious. I think I sent you the one picture when it was here. It was next door, right? Didn't I send you that, Wayne? When it was up on the neighbor's roof.
I don't remember. I wasn't able to put them all on.
Oh, no, I didn't send it to you today. I sent it to you another day.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it was another day. It wasn't yesterday. So it's not the best picture in the world because it's dark out. But something was smashing on the fence, like smashing on it, and the dog was going nuts back and forth. And I was scared and nervous, and I ended up kicking the fence back, and it stopped. And then I was like looking, but I was scared of what was behind me. So I did selfie mode like this, so I could constantly look up and look up and look up and see what was behind me.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually I turned like this, and behind me on the roof was he was on all fours peering down, like ready to leap, or like a 20-foot down leap. And I ended up calling someone in New Zealand who was with a tribe over there, and I ended up calling because it was a different time zone. It was really late here, and it was so I was just frantic. I was frantic.
Yeah. You Mike, if I may, this seems to me this concerns you.
Yeah, for sure. I don't get it. Like I don't like the Bigfoot. Like I get a certain vibe from him. I get a certain feel. I can really like. I've never felt any kind of threat. But this other stuff, they seem to like be really testy. Like not even seem to be. They are very testy, very pushy, very trying. I actually drew a blade the other night. I haven't felt like I needed to draw a blade in years. Like on any occasion. So, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you're concerned about the others. I mean, do you feel like maybe they are threatening the Bigfoot that you have around? I mean,
I wish I knew more.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know enough about I know enough about what I'm told from people who do a lot of research and stuff. But I personally, like, I only like to talk from what I know and what I've encountered, because that's really what I know. Like everything else is not that I can say I don't trust that person giving me that information and it's not solid gold, but I won't relay it. I'll let them relay it, but I won't relay it. So.
Greg Smith wants to know, how many have you seen in person? Just how many would you say, just roughly?
Like all of them rolled into one? I mean, I wish I could put that number together. I don't even know. A lot, yeah, a lot.
3, 4, 5. I mean,
no, way more.
We're talking Bigfoot, Dogman, and then
well, that's what I'm asking. Yeah, because on all the different occasions, I mean,
how many?
I don't know, maybe
like how
50?
many species? How many different species have you seen?
3.
3. Okay.
Yeah. 3.
Okay, so Bigfoot, Dogman, and like a reptilian that you were talking about.
Yeah, and then and then I don't know. I mean, yeah, let's just go with that for now, because I mean, I think we've seen Greys. I think we've seen Tinkerbell once, but like things get a little.
Yeah. That's why I try to stay with Bigfoot. There's so much that we don't know about Bigfoot. Why do you want to start adding all this other stuff?
I'm the guy who did not want to stray ever. I was like, the team would be like, "Oh, Mike, look what you saw." But I don't even don't show me. I don't care. Like I want to put on my Bigfoot blinders and like. But
tonight is our 47th episode on Mannimal Research. Last week was our 46th, and it was the first one that we talked about Dogman.
Yeah.
That most of our show was dedicated to a cryptid other than Bigfoot.
Yeah, I think that's when I
want to keep it.
I think that's when I sent that to you. Yeah. I have a few more, but I literally don't even show them the light of day because I don't like them. I went back out a couple of times to go and be like, all right, Mike, maybe you're being too judgmental here. You know what I mean? Maybe you stamped on their territory. I tried again recently. I stayed all the way to hell out of their way. And they came and they came and they came and they came and they came. And so I put them.
And it's my opinion, and I could be wrong. I could catch crap for this, but these other different cryptids, I don't feel like you can spread yourself out amongst them and give them the time that they need to learn about them. if that makes sense.
It
Like
does.
I'm so busy with Bigfoot
It does.
that I can't throw in Dogman there because then I'm taking away time from Bigfoot.
Yeah.
You
If
know,
I didn't feel like it
people
was,
that say that they are studying or researching several different cryptids, I mean, how? I mean, I
oh
don't
yeah,
feel like, I don't know.
you know what? But then you might have other priorities that people don't have, bro. So you know what I mean? Like some people have the time, some people have an obsession, some people are addicted to it. Like I mean, it could take over if you let it. Just like anything. If you want to, if you play poker and you win a hand, which in equivalency to seeing a Bigfoot, you might be like poker, 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 and like, so it's hard. It's sometimes, it's hard to say how people get. I'm only giving it the time of day because it's giving me the time of day. I don't really necessarily want to deal with it, but it's kind of a protection basis thing. So.
Yeah. And
we got a real good question from Crave Dog. Have you seen the Bigfoot's faces enough to describe what the faces look like?
Oh yes, Crave Dog. Yes. If any of you guys ever if you guys aren't on the Facebook page, Long Island Bigfoot Facebook page, that's where I post a lot of the pictures itself. But I think I sent you one. Wayne, do you have that one with my face next to it? Like that?
It's not uploaded on here, but I think you sent it.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But anyway, yes, I have seen them, and they actually have like a lot of them have different faces. Like Bubba has how men have a chin strap, so he has a gray chin strap, but it goes all the way around. So his black fur goes all the way up to this gray chin strap, and it goes all the way around. It's about this thick, like maybe like a pinky nail thick, and then the rest is all black leathery face again. And then like some have like, I don't know, almost like superhero masks of gray, like they not to say they're all like this, but I've seen a lot of them that have different facial features.
They look like outstanding Bigfoots.
Oh, let me tell you, if those are, I hear so much about that, and he don't answer me, so I've reached out to him. But if I don't know, I said, here's a pic to, give me pic, I'll give you a pic for some information. Here's something I got. So I'm not just somebody here, and he won't reply. But anyway,
it's probably because you haven't paid him.
I hear that too. So some yes, some yes. Now again, he's all the way in a different area. Are they different? Yes, they're totally different. I've seen some that are just outrageously surprising. That just, I'm just like, wow, you don't fit the mold for what I thought. And again, I'm stumped and stuck on stupid. So, I've seen one that looks exactly like his. Yes. The other ones really are cool to me because I haven't seen ones that look like that. But yeah, I have seen one that looks just like what he's pushing.
Okay. And what's your Mike? What's your presence on Facebook? You said Long Island Bigfoot page, or is it that?
Oh yeah, I have a page and a channel. That's it. I can't do anymore. I almost dropped the channel at one point because it's just a lot. But I said if I put up an announcement that said if one person won't go to Facebook, then I'll stay here. And a couple of people didn't want to go, so I kept the channel. But yeah, that's all I have. But it's easier to share still photos on Facebook.
Yeah. So you don't have a page on Facebook then?
I do. Yeah, I do. Yes.
Oh, and what is it?
Yeah, Long Island Bigfoot page. It's just Long Island Bigfoot, same way.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. All right. Would you say that? I mean, this is probably the most asked question to people that have seen the faces. Would you say for the ones you've seen more human or more animal looking?
I don't know. They do resemble like mountain gorillas. Like, to me, they resemble mountain gorillas. That's that's how I see them. I kind of see like a mountain gorilla for the most part. I don't necessarily see human, but they do. You know, there is one that like I've seen that literally has like like a rounded nose, kind of like mine, and like when you really stop and look at it. But I mean, the leathery skin that I see mostly, and stuff like that, like and the hair and stuff. It to me it resembles resembles an ape more than a human. But they have such human features at the same time. But then so do monkeys and chimpanzees and mountain gorillas and apes and stuff. So it's just really how you look at it. But
yeah, that's interesting. So it's, but is there any, sometimes people want to, interject some type of what they refer to as humanity. So human features or a human vibe. I mean, is there anything that do you drift towards some sort of hominid or human?
Yeah, I mean they all have, from what I can tell, individual personalities. They all have different tastes. People always say, "Don't feed them that. Don't give them that." Da, 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 da. First of all, I'm not feeding them. They have choice. Second of all, I mean, I'm giving them something, and they literally either take it or don't. Like my favorite story is I gave them oranges for like 2 weeks straight, and then I came to a trailhead at the end of that 2 weeks, and I had gifted them oranges all over the place, and that's all I gifted. And there was like 100 oranges at the end of the trail, all in a pile, all different aged from the past 2 weeks of giving it to them. So they literally, that place that I was visiting at that time, they were basically saying like, "Here, we don't want these. Like, next." But like, I've left peanut butter places, gone. Left in another place, they'll leave it forever. Or I'll bring bagels to one place and they'll disappear, and I'll come back in a week and the bagels still be sitting there. So is it, maybe they like it in some places, maybe they don't in others, so I don't know. But one thing I do know is if they don't want it, they're not going to take it. Like, if they don't want to eat it, they're not going to eat it. They're definitely, it's definitely not. A lot of people get on me about giving them sweets, and I don't know. There's one that loves it, and I'm not gonna not give it to him. Like I don't always show it as much now because everyone's a critic on me, but like I give him his sweets.
Fair enough.
Mike, let me let me ask you about orbs. You experienced any orbs out there? What do you think about that phenomenon?
Yeah. I mean, orbs are difficult to describe. Like, I've seen them, and from where I live at, there's always gonna be, just like why it's hard for me to do footprints, why it's hard for me to do audio. Orbs are gonna be the same thing, because they're always gonna say that it could be a flashlight in the woods, or it could be a person, or it could be something. There's people everywhere. It could be lights that so it's kind of why I'm a visual guy. It's kind of why I try to get the camera right on them if I see them, just so I could, say, look, this is what I'm looking at, So I have experienced some, and I think it's the Mihawk Indians. They say wherever Bigfoot goes, the lantern follows, and it kind of reminds me of a similar thing. Like in the night, which I don't do a lot of night investigations, I notice that there's usually like a glow, and like it's kind of like almost like I don't know, like a dancing orb or a blinking orb or something, and that's kind of like an indicator of where they can be. So I don't know enough about it, but I don't know if it goes with the Bigfoot necessarily, or it goes with like these portals or what, but it's hard to say, because like a small portal opening can look like an orb too on film,
Yeah, it's kind of tough. I mean,
it is. Yeah. It's really hard to say for sure, but I mean, I've seen things that whether anybody could say can not everyone's gonna agree, but I know I've seen them for sure.
All right. What about mind speak, telepathy?
Yeah.
Not necessarily have you experienced it, but do you believe that's a capability?
Yeah, I believe in it because I've experienced it. So
You have
it's
experienced it.
yes, yeah, heavily. In the beginning, it was a hot mess. Could not differentiate anything from anything. I couldn't put apart anything. So one day it dawned on me, kind of, or it didn't dawn on me, or it was, but I recalled that I was Reiki certified, which is I don't know if you know what Reiki is, but it's hard to say. But it's like an energy healing or something. But it's like a next level of meditation almost, and like, but it's like energy based healing and stuff, almost like an energy massage, if you will. And like you're able to do a lot of things and move a lot of things, so you get into a really nice calm state, and you're able to work through a lot of things. So I kind of started harnessing that to harness the mind speak, and I was really able to separate a lot of things and kind of almost tap into it when I need to or when I'm supposed to. So I know a lot of people say it's overwhelming and it's out of control and it's too much and it's so I understand where they're coming from with that, but if you can fight through that and learn to kind of just get through that hump of the uncomfortability and the new insane stuff that's going on with you, then if you could fight through that, which is hard because people have an everyday life, and this stuff took over me for like 2 weeks before I could figure something out. And if you could figure it out, it gets pretty awesome.
Now, is there a specific example that you can give us of a time that you have spoken to one? And I mean, if you don't want to, you don't have to. I'm just asking. I think it would be cool to hear.
Yeah, all right. So one was one was with a vision, and I don't know. I might cry because when I tell it, it just I don't know why, but it upsets me. So I'm fine, everybody in advance. But
Okay.
so the one guy, Bubba, that I talked to you about, the main Bigfoot, who I consider my guardian. Like that's how I consider him. I kind of consider him my Earth guardian, like kind of like a guardian angel. Same concept. Like this deer antler I have, like he manifested this for me. Like he gave it to me. I bring it everywhere I go. Good ask Sarah. She knows I don't go nowhere without. So, but he showed me and kind of spoke to me like, because I had asked that question about what this is and where this is going, because people were asking me, can you ask? Can you ask? Can you ask? I said, I don't know if I should be asking where this end game is, what they are, what this is all about. So I said, you know what? I'll just do it. So many people are asking, I'll just do it. And instead of an answer, I got a vision of like comfortability and longevity. And it was basically showing me holding hands with him and walking down Main Street somewhere. And Main Street was empty. There was no cars. And there was people all on the side of the road, like a parade almost, but like a private parade. But they weren't cheering. Their jaws were dropped. And I was a lot older, like not a lot older, but a lot older, like maybe 10, 15, 20 years from now. And we were just holding hands walking down Main Street, almost like as like a public showing of like an outing almost. Like we were, for our area, maybe for that instance, we were like I don't know, like say if they were like to have an outing, like we were the ones to like show the local area like what it was about, kind of like. And it just kind of showed me that we're in it for the long haul together. That it's not going to go away right away. It's not, this answer isn't coming right now, but it will come down the road. And I don't have an exact day. I don't have an exact age, but I could tell you I had, grayer hair. Like I had grayer hair. I was a little older. Maybe mid 40s or 50s, and I'm 36 now. So I have a ways to go. So, unless I was a really fit 60-year-old. So.
Right.
Which you could have been.
Yeah.
can speak to people mentally, like telepathy. Is that all species or just some, in your opinion? Do you think all the different kinds of Bigfoot can do it?
Bigfoot, yeah, I think so. I think that only some are tasked with it, perhaps. Like, like not everyone not every one of them are out there just doing it. I think they have a special reason for it and a special task to it. Like he was tasked to me. Like he's the only one that does it with me. That I don't just go out and get mind speak from every Bigfoot that I meet. Like, it's not like that. It's just with this one particular. So I'm sorry if I didn't make that clear. Sorry about that. So, but I believe they all can. Yeah, I believe they all can. It's just a matter of when and if they do it with a human.
Yeah, Janice is saying, yeah, all Bigfoot Sasquatch usually telepathic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's some people out there like mediums and or like psychics or something that can tap into more than the one, but that's all I get, and I'm not mad at it. No.
All right.
Well, I could say this, Mike, about your about what you're just talking about, like just trolling down Main Street with one. Like that would not be an area thing because everyone with a cell phone, right? I mean, it would be around the world in.
Well, I don't know. Yeah.
Minutes. Yeah, like yeah.
Well, I can't say if this is like going to be like an outing that occurs with like different people in different locations and it's all like a one-day thing around the world. I don't know. I only have that localized tunnel vision. Sure. But yeah, you're right. If it was an isolated incident, sure.
One of these, and like it's around the world in 15 minutes.
I'll tell you off of this vision, which is just a hypothetical thing in the future.
Sure.
I'm nervous about it. Like I think about it all the time. I'm nervous about it. Like I get nerve wracked off of this. Like it's crazy. Like it's nuts.
Sure. It would be nerve wracking to show the entire world, like, behold a Bigfoot, right?
Well, I get nervous already about the local areas getting hold of this information stuff, because you'd be surprised how little of the people that like I speak to are from this area. That's how people must not even search it or anything, like on Google, because I don't encounter many people that are from here. So
yeah,
who really Googles Long Island Bigfoots? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I never even did it really.
Not a lot. Do you see yourself staying in that area and continuing your research, or what is your long-term goals? I mean, would you like to, when you retire, maybe move out to the Pacific Northwest, because that's what I want to do eventually. When I retire, I want to head up there, get me a cabin in the woods, and just do this.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm bound here by my children, so I mean, Sarah and I and most of the kids are gonna move way out east of on the North Shore, probably. So we're looking for a big piece of property with surrounding woods and everything. But I'm bound here by one of my other children, so I don't plan on leaving him. So maybe one day when he's like super older and he could travel himself, and come visit or something, I would love to get into another area. She wants to go to Montana or something. She's living in Montana, so maybe there. But other than that, I'm here for a while.
Yeah. Well, Mike, and what's interesting to me is, given your location, like what's actually interesting to me is because I spent time in upstate New York. I lived there for about a year.
Yeah.
In Lake George area, Glens Falls.
Oh, cool, nice.
And so right by Whitehall, and in the Adirondack area, which there's been a lot of sightings, a lot of activity, and I love Whitehall. I mean, number one, it's like, don't don't you ever go to Lake George for, a summer vacation? But hey, go up there and, maybe check out some Bigfoot stuff, man. Right?
Yeah. Well, I'm connected with the New York Bigfoot Society, Gary Hootenhall and Kenny W. Irish, and they have all that area up there. So we talk often. And, I plan on going up there, and I think me and Gary are going to actually tackle Lake Champlain soon for Champ and stuff. We're going to do a little research there on that. But also I'll do Bigfoot up there with him. But yeah, definitely. It's just literally I've been doing it like with a knowing that they're around for the past year. So I haven't been really outside the area. But I'm definitely going to do Camp Hero soon, which is in Montauk, which is that's where Stranger Things, that show on Netflix, is based off of.
Right.
So
right.
It's like they got the labs underground and everything. And then Plum Island's on the other side on the North Shore, but I can't get there. Like it's just where you can get is not worth it. So I'm gonna do Camp Hero in Montauk. And they've been seeing Bigfoot there named Junior since the 1800s. Like my buddy Dark Hour Paranormal pointed that out to me. And I don't know if he's a legit, like, full-blooded Bigfoot. I think he might be some kind of experiment because he is at Camp Hero. Now you're going back to the 1800s. Was there really all that going on still back then?
Yeah.
It's all hearsay.
Yeah.
But they have full-blown pictures of him there, so it's interesting.
Yeah. Wow.
So these are things I didn't even know about. Right here on Long Island since the 1800s, and I had no idea there were sightings going back. It's just well covered. Just really well covered up. I just met a guy named Carl who was doing research here in 09 to 010. He was living here, and he has a whole podcast full of research. Like, I mean, a whole not podcast, a whole, I don't even know what you call it, but it's a whole list of different reports and stuff from all the stuff he did out here.
Okay.
So it's been done and it's being seen. A lot of people are coming to me now with reports and saying they seen stuff, and it was here and it was there, and which day and which time and which location and what date, and it's really comforting, to be honest with you. Like they're like, thank you for listening to me. I'm like, no, you don't even understand how good it is to hear someone else around here start talking about this, So
yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, like I said, I've been there. I mean, I've been on Long Island. I've been around that area, and it's kind of crazy. Like, not crazy, but just like it's hard to wrap your head around. Like, even though I know there are patches of woods there, but it's just a really populated place. And like I said, man, the only way across land is right through New York City. So.
Yeah, right.
It's kind of nuts, man. But
no, for sure. Yeah, I hate to think that they're like trapped, but like I think you might be right to an extent. Like they're just here. They're kind of here. They're not nomadic like a lot of other places. Like people say they're nomadic. They move around all these areas. They don't. A lot of them are just stay still. Like I can tell. Like I could see they have little different pockets where they go and they move around and stuff. To God forbid, like somebody walks in and starts hunting or something, they bounce around. But I can totally tell that they're always like they're almost predictable, if that makes sense. Like it's almost predictable to find where they're going to be because they don't have nowhere to go. Like
yeah, and I get that. I'm not a person that thinks that they are nomadic, because I don't think they have avenues of travel like anywhere in the country that are real, like, very vast. There might be some places. I mean, when you get up into the wild forests of Canada, they could literally go thousands of miles if they wanted to. But here in the U.S., like here in Georgia, even, like I always tell people, I'm like, well, they can't go south because they'll run into 8 million people. So,
I know.
It's like they're here. I mean, they're definitely in the North Georgia mountains, for sure. I know that for a fact. I've experienced that myself firsthand. So, I mean, how far is their range? I would say as far as the tree line goes, like the wild remote forest, if how big that is, that's their range. And what is that connected to, So
Right.
yeah.
I hear what you're saying.
But in Long Island, that's a real condensed version of that for sure. So I understand why people always question that, and it's why I brought it up, is just because it's kind of the obvious question.
Yeah, and I think that is the question. Like the $1 million question. That's what everybody wants to know. And I think Mike did a good job of explaining it. All right, guys, we have gone over an hour, so it's getting about that time where we are going to hang it up. Mike, I appreciate it, buddy. We've been talking for a while. We text pretty regular, and Mike's a really good guy. Y'all go check out Long Island Bigfoot if you haven't done so already. Mike does a good job out there. Mike, I appreciate you being here, buddy.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Pat. Nice to meet you, brother. Guys, if you haven't subbed, if you're here from LIB, please sub. These guys are up and coming. They're awesome.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, bro. Have a good one, guys. Thank you all.
All right, Pat. Appreciate you sitting in with me, asking the tough questions. So what you're known for, you?
A little bit.
Yeah.
You know me, man. I try to keep things real. Mike's an interesting guy. He has an interesting story. It should be heard. Obviously he's got a channel. He's doing his thing, and
he's doing a really good job. And that's the question that everybody wants to know. When you hear Long Island Bigfoot, that's the first thing that pops in your head. How the heck did Bigfoot get in Long Island? And you asked him, and he explained it, and the best he could. And I mean, something's going on out there.
Yeah, I mean, if he's encountering that phenomenon out there, I think that says a lot toward better knowledge. Actually, that's why I kind of said, hey, dude, you're in a unique position to provide good. If you provided good evidence, whether it be a body part or a body or great footage, we could start like ruling some things out. Like, we can actually start ruling things out, and of course gain more knowledge because of that, whatever that evidence is. I wasn't trying to put pressure on him,
Yeah.
but he's in a unique position to say, hey man, he's like, hey man, these things are here. Like, I get what you guys are saying. I know it's Long Island. I know that they can't walk from New York City. They probably can't swim across the, Long Island Sound. There's really no place for them to even land on the shore. That's all populated. Just go look at Google Earth, man. That's the highest density population region in the U.S. So it's a weird position. It's like, wow, there's something going on there. What is it?
Yeah. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. And you will be back next week as a guest, and we will talk a little bit more about, I know you've had a couple encounters of your own, and you've got something that you are working on that I'm excited to talk about next week. And it's something that I think a lot more people should be trying, and we'll get into it next week. But I appreciate you helping me out this week. Walsh will be back next, and we'll get into it with Pat.
Yeah, definitely, man. I look forward to it. There's going to be a lot for us to talk about, brother.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Everybody, thanks so much. Good show tonight. Good participation as always, man. The last month or so, you guys have been just kicking tail. Good questions, good comments, and I appreciate it, guys. Thank you, everyone, for being here. And everybody, be safe, and y'all be good to each other. See you guys.